Rolando Revilla Jr. of the award-winning studio Revilla Productions. I've been a working Tejano musician for over 30 years, and I'm the founder of Tejano Keyboard.com, a place for Tejano musicians where we build community, share resources, offer tools, and support each other in the preservation and advancement of Tejano music. Today, I'm very excited to announce the launch of a new set of tools specifically for Tejano musicians and producers that you've never seen before. A new perspective on our beloved Mexican-American nostalgia. For years, Tejano musicians have adapted tools that were never built for us. That changes out ahorita. Introducing the Tejano Keyboard Collection, a powerful new suite of software, instruments, and plugins created specifically for Tejano musicians, producers, and performers. Today, the Tejano music community gets the tools it deserves. Whether you're playing live on stage, recording in the studio, writing a new song, or recreating the classics that define our genre, Tejano Keyboard I'm Rolando Revilla Jr. of the award-winning studio Revilla Productions. I've been a working Tejano musician for over 30 years, and I'm the founder of TejanoKeyboard.com, a place for Tejano musicians where we build community, share resources, offer tools, and support each other in the preservation and advancement of Tejano music. Today, I'm very excited to announce the launch of a new set of tools specifically for Tejano musicians and producers that you've never seen before. A new perspective on our beloved Mexican-American nostalgia. For years, Tejano musicians have adapted tools that were never built for us. That changes ahorita. Introducing the Tejano Keyboard Collection, a powerful new suite of software, instruments, and plugins created specifically for Tejano musicians, producers, and performers. Today, the Tejano music community gets the tools it deserves. Whether you're playing live on stage, recording in the studio, writing a new song, or recreating the classics that define our genre, Tejano Keyboard Collection puts the authentic Tejano sounds and workflows right at your fingertips. Built by Tejano musicians who understand the music, the culture, and the demands of a performance. These tools were designed to help you spend less time searching for sounds and more time creating, performing, and inspiring audiences. What began in 2020 during the challenges of the pandemic has evolved into something much bigger. Tejano Keyboard Collection represents the next generation of Tejano keyboard technology, crafted by Tejano musicians, shaped by the community, and built to help you bring the best sound to every stage and every recording. We've got a lot to cover today. You'll hear some sounds, meet some of the musicians who helped create them, see the technology behind them, and most importantly, discover how these tools can help you perform, record, and create Tejano music faster and more authentic than ever before. So let's get started with the foundation of the entire collection, Tejano Keyboard Performer. Performer is a lightweight, ready for the gig or session plugin available on all formats, including standalone app, VST3, AU for Apple users, and AAX for Avid Pro Tools users. It also includes a new menu so you can check out the sounds by category, and you can also pick out the sounds quickly by using the click of a mouse, or you can also use the arrows on your computer keyboard. How is this different? We do not rely on samples. We have a proprietary process called NAS, Neural Audio Waveform Synthesis. With NAS, we give you full control over the patches, offering the ability to sculpt the sound to your taste. We have included 3 master effects, including a full ADSR transposition and Mojo, our proprietary voicing knob that allows you to transform your sound from a warm, round, vintage sound to a polished, sparkly sheen of modern-day digital. You are in control. For example, we can use a brass patch. Punchy octobrass is a pretty cool sound on its own. But if we dive in to the ADSR, we slow down the attack. We give it some decay. We turn down the sustain so it decays into nothing. We extend the release into something very dramatic. And now all of a sudden that punchy brass sound is a nice warm pad. Add some effects to it, like reverb, and you can create soundscapes that would be great pads for cumbias and rancheras. Mojo allows you to get a variety of sounds. The Tejano Keyboard Collection is not just samples repackaged. This product was crafted sound by sound with AI to enhance our beloved beautiful 70s, 80s, and 90s Tejano sounds. Neural Audio Waveform Synthesis, or NAS, is a new machine learning method of recreating timbres that are reminiscent of the sounds we've always heard, but you've never heard before. Our NAS engine acts very much like a sampler playback engine, but with the added advantages of AI-enhanced sounds. We're able to create sounds free of any unintentional artifacts such as distortion or hiss from dealing with old analog hardware that is oftentimes in bad shape. Another really exciting feature that we want to talk about is the first of its kind called Sabor Technology. Sabor Technology stands for Shuffling Accordion and Bajo Ornate Redobles. Keyboard players and producers have often struggled to achieve an authentic accordion sound. But the sound is half of the battle. When you play traditional Tejano accordion, shuffles were something that could not be done. Until now. We can increase the rate of the shuffle by pitch bending down. Once you find the speed that you like, you're able to hold the pitch bend there and play the passage you'd like. This is a Tejano Keyboard exclusive. We can also use the pitch bend on the way up to create a roll. Using the mod wheel, you can actually create the vibrato that you would get from doing a bellow shake. These same intricate pasadas happen in the bajo too. The redoble is a distinctive effect that happens in the bajo in Tejano music. We can now perform redobles at various speeds. Utilizing the pitch bend, we can increase the rate of the redoble. You play a chord, and it'll shuffle the notes through those chords. If you're a keyboard player looking for authentic Tejano sounds ready for the stage, rehearsal, church, recording studio, and home studio, Performer was built specifically for you. This is the easiest and fastest way to get around the sounds that you need without spending hours loading libraries, organizing patches, or searching through thousands of presets. Everything is organized by instrument category and is designed to let you play immediately. Whether you're looking for accordion, bajo, brass, strings, pianos, organs, synths, or rhythm section sounds, Performer puts them right at your fingertips. And most importantly, these are not generic sounds borrowed from other genres. Every sound in Performer was crafted specifically with Tejano musicians in mind. Familiar sounds that capture the spirit of Tejano music we grew up with, while giving you clarity, consistency, and the flexibility needed for today's performances and productions. Because every musician has their own style, Performer gives you the ability to shape your sound your way. From the stage to the studio, authentic Tejano sounds right at your fingertips. Tejano Keyboard Performer, or TKP, has two brothers. TL is more lightweight and includes your favorite Tejano keyboard sounds in a portable. This is perfect for the musician on the go. We will be releasing TKL, and the TKP and TKL have an exciting new big brother. Today we of our much anticipated flagship model, Tejano Keyboard Studio. Or TKS is a multi-engine program that gives you 4 of the TKP repositories stacked, plus an analog synth, a drawbar organ, and a drum machine. Perfect for sculpting and creating related to Tejano music. With Tejano Keyboard Studio, you can split, layer, create velocity zones, and assign MIDI channels to specific sounds. It has full ADSR, a mixer, harmonizer, humanizing features, monophonic priorities for single note play or horn sections, an array of insert effects, and master effects. If Performer is built to get you to play immediately, Studio is built to let you build without limits. Instead of loading multiple plugins or jumping between multiple tools, Studio brings everything together in one place. As you can see right here, we have 20 presets at one time across 6 banks, which gives you 120 presets. And the last bank is the user bank, which allows you to create your own sounds, and you can save them to that bank so you can access them. But all of the sounds are actually editable and you can save them. It's just as simple as right-clicking and hitting save, and you can change the name. Each preset gives you the ability to stack 4 of the TKP repositories, plus 1 analog synth and a drawbar organ. Plus, there's the added advantage of a built-in drum machine. The first 4 layers can be accessed right here, which gives you the same repository as you find in Performer. You can just select the sound. For the analog synth, you can pick between sine, triangle, square, saw, super saw, which is a bunch of saws that are detuned from each other, monster saw, which is something that I created, which has a bunch of different octaves happening, and noise, so you can add different textures to your sounds. We also have the drawbar organ. When you click on L6, it pulls up the drawbars, and we'll get to that in just a second. Everything starts with inspiration, so we'll go to browser. You can look for the sounds either through their numeric values. You can also sort them through alphabetical order or through their eras. We have a feature called Time Machine, which allows you to get the sonic signatures of vinyl, cassette, CD, and modern day digital audio. So you can see the 70s is vinyl, the 80s is cassette, the 90s is CD, and modern is pure pristine audio. We've designed the browser to make it easy to find sounds quickly without getting lost in complicated menus. You can also start typing in the sound that you're looking for, and you can select it from a smaller list. From the browser page, you can also access the demos for each sound. The homepage gives you immediate access to the controls that you use the most. So as you can see, we have a volume for each of the different sounds. We also have a balance, so you can put it in the stereo image where you prefer. We have our proprietary mojo that we've talked about before for every layer. We also have a transposition, which allows you to put the instruments right where they need to be, especially with splits. We have a master effects send, which sends up to either reverb or delay. The output allows you to route your sounds to specific outputs in your interface or your DAW so you can process them individually. We also have a built-in Auto-Harmonizer, which we'll talk about later. Setting up MIDI controllers should not require a manual. Studio makes it easy for you to connect your MIDI controller so you spend less time configuring and more time performing. All you have to do is right-click on any parameter and hit MIDI Learn, move a fader, and just like that, the encoder is linked. You can shape, layer, and personalize sounds to fit your style, your band, and your music. Let's hear a few examples. With the synth, we can go into the Edit Synth page, giving us full control over pitch, filter, your modulation, your vocal formant, and also FM synthesis. So let's take this sound. And it's as simple as hitting MIDI Learn, hitting your modulation wheel, and you can go. We can change the pitch. With drawbars, you go to L6, and here you can actually click where you want the drawbars to go, or you can simply just drag and you can make your organ sound however you like. Or you can also right click, tell it MIDI Learn, and have it learn faders on your MIDI controller. In my case, I've already gone ahead and mapped out all of these. So if I wanted to come up with an organ sound, something like this. I can use the modulation wheel to increase the rate of the rotary speaker. The width gives you the ability to have either a more tight rotary speaker sound or a wide rotary speaker sound. And you can hear that moving over the stereo spectrum. My first guest is a close friend of mine that I've been working with a lot as of recently, Mr. Fabian Hernandez. Fabian, thank you for joining us here today.
What's up, my brother?
Could you please tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
I am a two-time Grammy Award saxophonist based out of the Austin, Texas area. I guess just to give you a little background about my musical career, I started playing with Little Joe when I was 18 years old, and that branched off into me working with pretty much everybody in the industry. You name it, from I went from Little Joe to Ruben Ramos to J. Perez, Ricardo Castione, La Diferencia, Stephanie Montiel. I was enough to be a part of several ventures in this genre of Tejano music.
So you're an alto saxophonist, correct?
I did start on alto, so alto was like my very first. I played tenor in high school, but when I joined Ruben Ramos's band, maybe around 2000, they're different animals, so I had to learn how to gravitate into going from alto to tenor to soprano. Their own things. They're all, you have to tame them all separately. They all have different characteristics. They all speak differently. It is different. So you have to put in the time to really understand how they speak. They are all different monsters.
So Fabian, let me ask you this. In your opinion, what are some things that make keyboards sound fake when they are trying to create horn sounds?
Well, for me, the biggest thing is that the saxophone is a perfectly imperfect thing, that from note to note, there's a certain thing called inconsistencies when you're a horn player. And I've been playing a Summer Mark 6 for a little over 10 years now, and that thing has a very sharp C sharp, has a very flat bottom end once you go down to the low C. So basically what I'm saying is every horn has inconsistencies, whether it's the most expensive saxophone that you buy or the cheapest one. Or designers of software and keyboards, the sound of the saxophone has always been made to sound extremely perfect when the instrument itself has so many inconsistencies. There's so many things about it, from the way that the reed vibrates, the metal, the finish, the mouthpiece, the neck that you play. Those are all variables that make each player individual. So I feel like manufacturers have always, they sample one sound, or they create one tone, and then they just copy it across the boards. There's so many flat and sharp, and as players we have to focus on tuning, our stability. Stability is a big thing. Our embouchures are a big part of the sound that we produce. So we have to work on the muscles in our mouth and our lips so that we can create more consistency for the tone. And I guess that's the biggest thing, that I feel manufacturers have consistently failed to do, is create some type of inconsistency to make the horn sound more natural.
We actually sampled all of our brass and our woodwinds with every range of the notes on the instrument, correct? In long note form?
Yeah, basically we took all my inconsistencies and we just played each note We gave different values to each note, and we made sure that every single note had variation, um, in the naturalist form that the saxophone produces. So all of what you're hearing in the newest version of Tejano Keyboard will have like me playing as natural as possible. So every note was sampled individually.
Yeah, and we also did different velocity ranges. So instead of having just volume going up, we could hit the saxophone at its different velocities, and it would create a different attack. Sometimes you would get a bend in the note or vibrato.
You have to understand the styles that you play, the feel, and we tried to capture that. Gave different variables. Like for instance, Tejano music has a very consistent articulation, so we made sure that we sampled those variations so that you could create those feelings with the keyboard, just like a saxophone player would mimic that.
I think one of the things that makes the saxophone sound fake on a keyboard is the fact that a keyboard will allow it to be polyphonic or play multiple notes.
Unfortunately, we can only really play one note at a time. So horn sections, you have the ability to create multiple voicings when you have, 2 horns, 3 horns, 4 horns, 5 horns. There's great bands, and like Tejano music, I was blessed to be able to play with Little Joe early on in my career, and Ruben Ramos. We always rocked with 3 horns. You're able to play a 3-part harmony.
So let me ask you this. What about in context of a lead alto sax against keyboard, say in a situation like a Jay Perez or like a La Diferencia or a David Lee Garza?
So this is probably the most important thing that I learned, because playing in a horn section, you're playing together. You're kind of like a flying V of birds. You have a leader, which is usually your first trumpet player, and he's the guy that's leading the pack. So you guys have to follow him. If he veers off to the left, you have to use your ears. You have to listen, and you have to listen to his phrasing, his articulations, and you're more of a team. You're part of this core team that works together. But when you're playing with the keyboard, playing in tune is one of the most important things, in my opinion, when you're playing with a keyboard player, because the sound of a keyboard, the way keyboards are created, they're meant to be played perfectly in tune. You're having to really lock in with those keys, man. If you're not locked in with the keyboard, it's not gonna be tight. But the sound is to play with feel, and like part of the feel is like it's energy as well. One of the things that as a horn player is you have to play with energy. You have to play with style, articulation, and that comes with years of just you have to listen to. Listen to records, listen to artists that do the same thing. Like coming from I guess one of the best examples of something like that outside of Tejano music, and possibly maybe where that all came from, was maybe even Dave Weckl. Dave Weckl is a great jazz drummer who created a great style of fusion in the 80s and 90s, and I think a lot of that sound may be reflected into what became of Tejano music.
Well, Fabian, I want to thank you for your time. If people want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
So I have a website. My website is fabiansax.com. You can find me right now. I'm rocking with Ricardo Castellone, La Diferencia, ladiferenciamusic.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Let's see Monophonic in play. We have the Orquesta preset pulled up, and as you can see, we are using all the engines. We have trumpet, trombone, tenor sax, and we have a woodwind doubler as bari and flute. You can see all the colors right here under MN. It's set to monophonic high, which means that the trumpet will always play the top note. The trombone and the bari are set to auto octave, and we'll explain what that is here in a second. We have inverted high, which is actually just the opposite of high, so it doesn't play the top note. In this case, the tenors will be playing multiple notes minus the top note. The trombone and the bari sax will actually be playing one octave below when in single note play. But once you press two notes, the low octave jumps up to the actual octave that it's supposed to be in, and it forms a chord, very much like a horn section would. The low brass would play in unison an octave down, and then when they harmonize, they jump and play the notes within the chord. So you can play lines like this. Now, one thing that I want to showcase right now is the Auto-Harmonizer. By pressing the harmony button, you can take one note in your right hand and then it will mirror the chord that you're playing in your left hand. And in your left hand, we have organ and electric piano. So you can play lines like if we turn the modulation up, the bari becomes a flute. Black Cat has two trumpets, tenor sax, and jazz accordion. We use the same monophonic idea to create an array of saxophone and keyboard hybrid sounds. For example, this preset is called Poteet. It's got alto sax, Italian accordion, a saw brass, and electric piano. But you can also use monophonic to create some awesome screaming leads. So let's talk about how monophonic can be used for other creative ideas. Let's take Nashville, for example. Nashville is a patch that's meant to emulate a pedal steel. What we've done is assign multiple single coil notes to different parts of the keyboard, but only allowing certain ones to bend so you can create effects where one note stays and the other note changes, similar to what would happen on a pedal steel. The keyboard is split where you can play parts of the chord at the bottom. These notes won't change. We took the same idea and decided to do bends for electric guitar. So we have a patch called distortion. The bottom part of the keyboard are power chords. Then the top part of the keyboard is a combination of single coil and humbucker sounds, giving you the ability to play leads like this. This mimics the effect of a guitar player holding one note and bending the other. Distortion is just one of the many effects that we have on Tejano Keyboard Studio. One of my favorite patches is called El Parche, and it has old school phaser, it's got delay, and it's got a German jazz accordion. El Parche is using the Time Machine's 80s Onda, which is a cassette emulation. The harder you drive into the plugin with your sounds, the more saturation you get. So you can flip from 70s retro, which is a vinyl sort of curve, 80s Onda, which is a cassette sort of curve, 90s era, which is the golden era, where the digital converters had a certain sound. Everything rushed to CD quality, which is 16-bit 44.1 kilohertz sampling rate. And modern is essentially unadulterated sound, the most pristine sound that we've been able to create with Nas. One of the features that helps us as keyboard players is the fact that we can split sounds, layer them, mix them, and edit them in any sort of way that you want. And in many cases, you can do it with just one keyboard. I've been playing a one keyboard setup for over a decade. My philosophy is you only have two hands. You can only play so much with two hands. And I understand that back in the day, we used to have different keyboards so we could MIDI layer or split or combine things together. But essentially what the Tejano Keyboard Studio allows you to do is to combine all of that into one package. If you feel more comfortable with more than one keyboard, this program will allow you to hook up multiple keyboards. But we're trying to make things faster for the key music, who often has the most to set up. Let's look at alto and keys for a sec. So what we have going on here is that we have Fabian Hernandez on alto. We're using the monophonic high priority, which we've already talked about before, which allows just the top note to come through because that's what makes the saxophone sound realistic. We have a brass section layered with that, also some strings, and a bright EP. But that bright EP is also layered with a DX sort of sound from our FM analog synth. If we go over to the MIDI page, this is where all the magic happens when it comes to splits. The low Z corresponds to the lowest note of that layer. So you can see right here in the first three, the split happens at F3. So E3 and below is my electric piano. F3 and above are the lead sounds. Looking at each layer, you can see that the lead sounds, the sustain pedal is turned off, but the sustain pedal is turned on for the electric piano sounds. Oftentimes the mod wheel will let you do certain things like blend two different sounds together. As we just heard in the DFW stacks, you get the primary synth on the bottom, but as you modulate up, you get a harmonica sound. And somewhere in the middle, you get both. Similar is true on Love with Love. Eagle Pass Stacks gives you different variations of sounds that are similar to those used for songs like this. But as the modulation goes up, you get a different era of the same sound. So, Fabian, how has your day been going? You said you've been doing a lot of work, right?
Are we live?
Hmm?
Are we live? Do I have to say something?
No. Oh, are we on?
I
Yeah, I
said,
think we're on.
I
Oh,
said
we
we're
are on.
on.
Hey.
I just didn't want to say something stupid.
Well, we are on. So, welcome, everyone. So, we're going to go live for a little bit. Here, let me turn this down here for a sec. Yeah, we're gonna go live for a little bit and talk a little bit, and while we kind of work out some of these technical issues. And yeah, want to send a few shout outs. Want to send a shout out going out to Mark Nahar, who's joining us. Also, Pastor Daniel, thank you for joining us. We have so many people that have been chatting away. Shout out to everybody from California, everybody from Texas, everybody from the Midwest. Thank you very much for joining us. So, guys, what have you guys been thinking so far of the demos of what we've been talking about? Fabian, we talked a little bit about saxophone and monophonic. We've been seeing a lot of different demos regarding monophonic.
Yes, yes, yes. How's everybody doing? Fabian Hernandez here. Had a blast making this thing with, Rolando, lending myself, giving him some saxophone, so all the new saxophone that you'll hear, comes from yours truly, and uh, yeah, it's
Yeah. And so we also have Miguel Ortega Jr. here from the Latin Breed. Thank you very much for joining us. And also, Fabian, I should introduce everybody. I'm a terrible host.
that's right.
Fabian Hernandez from La Diferencia and Miguel Ortega from the Latin Breed. Thank you very much for joining us. Uh, and so we have some things that we wanted to talk about. Miguel was talking about the saxophone and that you've been looking for some saxophone stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Rolando, first of all, brother, this is amazing, man. Everything I've heard so far sounds perfect. Sounds better than the original sounds that I'm hearing from the actual recordings and stuff. But yeah, as far as the sax, I mean, I've had a hard time trying to find like a good alto sax that I could layer with some of my patches when I play with other bands, in case we do cover songs and all that. But from what I could hear on this is really great.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That's something that we've been, because like we've talked about, people have been asking us, hey, have you sampled this or whatever? And we do not do any sampling this time around. What we're doing our own proprietary AI synthesis called NAS, Neural Audio Waveform Synthesis. So all the sounds that you're hearing are sounds that you've technically never heard before, but we've molded the sounds to be as close as possible to sounds that you hear in Tejano, right? So these patches, you can hear them and get inspired by whatever they are, and then you can tweak it because early on in the demos, even with TKP, and we'll talk about the different tiers, right? But TKP was has the ADSR, so you can actually manipulate the like even like a brass sound and turn it into like a really big pad, with a lot of effects. And so you can do that even with the middle tier. So the bottom tier would be the iPad version, which will be out in a few months or in the months to come, I should say. Which is TKL or Tejano Keyboard Live. It'll be the iPad app. The middle tier is Tejano Keyboard Performer, which is what is kind of like the new brother of what the old software used to be. So those of you who are watching, if you guys purchased the original one, check your email out for information on how to get TKP for free. Your licenses will transfer over. Otherwise, for more pricing, you can go check out the website. I don't know if we still have that QR code up or if we can do that, but if not, TejanoKeyboard.com. Very easy. Go ahead and check it out. Of course, continue to like and subscribe and watch and do whatever to this video, right? And let's see here. Um, Question: will there be a tutorial on how to use the two separate keyboard controllers? Yes, I can do something like that. As a matter of fact,
I have a tutorial that shows how to set up a one keyboard setup that's going to be uploaded soon, and it shows you for those of you who are afraid of using a laptop or a computer, or maybe it seems too complicated. I literally made it in a handful of steps, maybe 3 steps, 4 steps, something like that, where you can see, uh, how I set everything up. But to answer your question, because Tejano Keyboard Studio, each of the here I have it pulled up here. Let's see here. So each of the layers has its own homepage, which will give you your volume, your balance, your mojo, which is our voicing knob. It'll the transpose, the effects, and also different outputs. So if you have an interface that has multiple outputs, you can route different sounds to different outputs, right? And edit will allow you to edit the sound, and we'll come back to that. But going to the MIDI page, you can actually assign a MIDI controller, say your bottom controller to MIDI channel 1 and your top controller to MIDI channel 2. You literally just tell this top keyboard, or this first one, say it's electric piano, you can tell it to be MIDI channel 1, and then whatever you're playing on that keyboard will play. Here, let's see. There we go. I didn't click on it right, but yes. So then that one would be the top, or the sorry, the bottom keyboard, and then 2 would be the bottom keyboard, and so on and so forth. And so yes, that's that.
So
I guess
Rolando,
that's the tutorial.
how many how many layers do you get?
You get 4 of the TKP repositories in Studio, plus an analog synth, plus an organ, and a drum machine.
Okay. And on your drum machine, are you able to separate the outputs on that as well? Like
Yes,
if you
so
want,
on the drum machine, you can also route it to one of the other outputs. So, say if you're running it as a drum machine, if you're a keyboard player, as often keyboard players are the guys who are kind of directing the group or running a drum machine or whatever, you can actually run the drum machine on its own separate out, and so it won't interfere with your keyboards.
right,
So, if
right.
you're somebody who's particular like that and want to separate your sounds, you can do that. Does this come in iPad app too? Yes, it will come. Well, it'll be a smaller version of this because the iPad, of course, won't be as powerful as a laptop or a computer, a desktop computer. So be sure to check the system requirements, because I will say this: TKP, which is Tejano Keyboard Performer, the little brother, will run on basically on most modern computers. It'll run great. Tejano Keyboard Studio, however, is built a bit more robust, so you'll be needing a very modern computer with a lot of RAM, a very capable processor, solid state hard drives. So, like I said, all the information is on the website. You can go on the downloads page. All the system requirements are there. But essentially, we've packed an entire plugin into one a one core processor app, meaning that you can use it as a plugin in your DAW if that's something that you want to do. It will use up a lot of your CPU, and that's why you can see we have a CPU monitor there. As you can see, even when I'm idling, it's still like at below 20%. But just know that when you're using Studio, it is a big program. It is something that you will need a lot of hardware to, or not a lot of hardware, but serious hardware, right? Like, you just need a very capable computer. Question: will there be a program? Wait, let's see. Will the program be seen full screen? It's hard to see the original product. Okay. So we were asked about resizing in the past. Now, because this is our first foray into making our own app, we have not quite gotten to the code yet to make things resizable. But we were thinking ahead of like how to make things more readable. So if you scroll the mouse over something, it'll expand. Uh, Okay, so I see. Yes, you can use it for 15 minutes, and sorry, I'll answer that question in a second. So, you can scroll over something and it'll tell you what it is. And so, and even with the sounds on the browser page, you can see more of the sounds. You can look for them by typing in a sound. You can look for them by number. You can look for them by alphabetical order. You can look at them by era. I'm sure that we've already, maybe on some of the demos, have already talked about the time machine, but we can talk about that too. The time machine is right here at the top where it says modern. But essentially, what that does is allows you to have a saturation and EQ curve similar to that for first vinyl, which is 70s retro, 80s onda, which is cassette, 90s era, which is CD, and also modern, which is our yeah, it is our unadulterated, it's full spectrum audio. Can we use it in Cubase 15 uh window? Yeah, so okay. Yes, as long as your DAW can take VST3, AU if you're an Apple user, or AAX for Pro Tools, if you're able to accept either of those three, yes, it will run in your DAW. Um, we are expecting. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought, but we're expecting things to for the iPad to move along here in the next few months, so we can get that rolling too. I'm sorry, I was reading a couple different questions and I lost my train of thought. But so let's see, what are the other questions? Oh yes, so Mike, tell us about some of your favorite patches, some of the things that you were talking about, like as far as like the horns and stuff, because we were off camera kind of talking a little bit.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, so yeah, like going back to the horn part, because I know you were doing a couple of patches that, of course, reminded me of the Latin breed patches, and those sounded really good. And I think you were also where it was like Auto-Harmonizer
Yeah.
when you're playing the
So
keys in the left.
so let's go to Orquesta for a second so we can kind of check it out. And so I'll just hit Orquesta. And as you see, it takes a little while to load because these are huge samples, or not samples, they're huge assets that, they're no longer samples, they're synthesized waveforms, right?
Right.
So what we're looking at here is the monophonic high will just play the top note. So the trumpet will play just the top note. Then these orange ones are auto octave. What that does, it plays, if you're playing one note, it plays an octave below. And then if you play a chord, that octave jumps up into the chord and it plays the bottom note of the chord, right? And then the
Yes.
purple plays all the other notes in between. So the tenors are playing multiple notes. So when you play a chord, I mean, if you play a single note, you'll hear, right? But if I play thirds, you hear the trombone and the sax is playing the bottom ones while the trumpet's playing the top. When you start breaking up into three-part harmonies, then you hear the sax is playing the middle notes. But here, let me bring it back to home so you can see. Right now, we're not using the Auto-Harmonizer because the way the Auto-Harmonizer works is anything that you play in your left hand will be mirrored as a chord in your right hand. So, for example, if I play one note and if I play that in my left
Oh
hand, that's
man.
the horns open up and play the chord, and the trumpet's playing the lead line. And then you guys heard like in the demo, the trumpet is pressure sensitive, so it does shakes depending on how hard you dig into the keyboard. So you can do that, and the trumpets do Deutz and falls. So That's how that works. The auto octave thing is something that's pretty cool. Like there's another sound called Black Cat, and let's look that up. Black Cat is 38. So Black Cat is going to have two trumpets, trumpet on top, trumpet on the bottom. And Fabian used to play with Ruben Ramos, so he knows that he used to play the middle part, right, Fabian?
Yes, sir.
So when you play a chord, I played that wrong, but you can hear the tenor in the middle, and you can hear the trumpets on the top and the bottom, and that sounds like that's the Ruben Ramos sound. You know what I mean? So there's different horn patches. You know, there's like sombra stuff, there's mas stuff, there's mafia stuff. There's all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? And again, uh, our goal was not to um, copy anything. We want to inspire people that like, hey, this is kind of in the realm of that wheelhouse. Go make it your own. We wanted to give people the ability to create new sounds from what was already there, because if that's the starting point, you can create anything you want from that point on. You know what I
So,
mean?
well,
This is just to get you started. Um,
so when you're saying that, you're creating a new sound, whatever you want, so that makes me think that once you create this patch, you can actually save it, correct?
Absolutely. So the way that you save it, you would say if I were to, turn this trumpet up like that, and I wanted to save it, saying I could save it right over the old one by just right clicking and hitting save, or I can go to the user bank and save it over this first one right here, save, and I'll save it new patch. Hit OK, and now 100 is new patch. And it'll bring up this. If I go back to Black Cat, the trumpet will go back down in volume, and there it is. And so we have 100 presets and then 20 user presets. But in reality, all of them are user presets, just like you would find in any other synth. You can save over anything. If you change a preset, you can save it. You can assign them. You were talking about maybe you can ask some of those questions in regards to MIDI.
Uh, oh yeah, like I know once you created a sound, like if I've got my MIDI keyboard, can I dial up a patch by just
Yes.
selecting a drum pad?
Yeah, so like with a drum pad or something like that. So say we get that sound that we just made right there, number 100, right? There's two ways to do it. If you're actually using a synth or a keyboard that has a numpad, you can actually hit 100 and it'll jump to that patch, or you can right click and it says MIDI learn. So in this case, I'll hit MIDI learn and it'll be blinking, and I'll hit that button. So now whenever I hit that button, it'll I don't know why I did that, but so like let's
Uh,
say I'm here and then I hit it should yeah, it brought me back. It brought me back. So yeah, you can even assign like another keyboard with keys to switch sounds if you wanted to. You know what I mean? I'm gonna undo that because that's gonna be annoying every time I play middle C. It's gonna go to that new patch.
Now,
So you just hit unlearn and that's it, and it's done. And so you can just go back to yeah. I can let's see if I go over here. Yeah, it's not going back there anymore. So yeah, that's
so
um
how about, like I have a Korg Nautilus, right? I'm still getting used to it. I'm getting used to using the show page, the live set, right?
say that
And
again.
let's say on the Korg Nautilus, same thing with the Korg Chronos, you
Mhm.
have the live set where you
Correct.
create. Am I able to dial in the patches the same way?
Yes, absolutely. And so that's kind of like what this was modeled after is like there's 20 slots and there's
Yeah.
five banks of it, right? Like you can probably do a set or a night with 20 sounds, right? Like so that's why I have, 20 different slots at a time. But I understand that everybody's needs are a little bit different. So it is kind of like a set list in a way. So you can have the way I think of it is like 20 set lists times six, right? Or I
Uh-huh.
mean, not 20 set. I'm sorry, six set lists times 20. You know what I mean? It'd be 20 slots per six. Uh, okay. So here's the thing. and where there was a question about loading times. So the reason we created different tiers is because there's different products for different things. If you're trying to switch fast between sounds and doing things like that, we recommend TKP, which is similar to the older version, but you still get Sabor, Nas, Mojo. You get all the ADSR, so it's still a step up from the old system. So uh, that is gonna load like that. It's meant to load one sound at a time and go quick, right? And those sounds, if you're used to the old way of working, that's basically what this what TKP is. However, Tejano Keyboard Studio was created more for people who want to design sounds and use them. So, for example, when I play live, I've been using this. I was beta testing since January, and so I've been using this at all my gigs and kind of like refining it until I thought it was ready. But what one thing that I would do is that I would open up. I use Studio One as my yes, TKP is performer. So what I would do is I would open up multiple instances of Studio. Now my computer is capable of opening up multiple instances, and so what I have is different sounds that are preset to different MIDI channels. So I'll have my first um, my first studio um, in one channel, and then I'll have my second one in another channel, and I have four of them. So then MIDI channel one will play the first split, and so if I need to switch between sounds quickly, they're already all loaded up. But again, that depends on your system. It depends on what your computer is capable of. So it's hard to really say it's going to take this long to load. But uh, I have a right now I'm using an M1 MacBook from 2020, so it's kind of old now, and it's still capable of running for TKP or TKS's, which is the studio. Uh, Fabian, can you talk about
Yo,
how you use this tool, as a Tejano music producer?
well, um, for one thing, one of the things that I really enjoy about it is how easy it is to access things, versus having to, go to a keyboard, like if you have a Trident or, if you're familiar with your board, that is one thing. But one thing that I do enjoy is that you get to just access all the sounds quickly. Um, I'm really all about workflow.
Yeah. So
Workflow is a huge thing for me. And so when I'm able to access the sounds, whenever I'm able to, um, pull up the patches, and I'm not spending hours just, I mean, everybody knows what it's like to sit there and audition sounds, and, you're looking for the right ones. But whenever, the banks are set up correctly and everything's, been created for this type of music, it makes the workflow a lot easier. Makes you're creating just happen, and you're not sitting there wasting hours. I'm sure Miguel can you know also agree. As
Yeah,
a keyboard player,
yeah, I
you
totally agree, man.
you can
yeah,
sit
and
there
so
and
bringing it back, what I wanted to do was show a little bit of the little brother, the Tejano keyboard performer, because that's what Fabian's talking about. There's different ways to navigate this, so you can, of course, use your mouse and you can just go from category, and then it'll show you all of the sounds in that category. All the way to even your gritos. Let's see, where's there a grito? Somewhere here. Oh, this one. Where this one? No. Anyways, there's gritos here somewhere. Anyways, there's gritos there. Uh, but yes, so you can actually scroll through them, or you can use your QWERTY keyboard, so you can use your arrows, on your computer to just go through the different uh, presets. I'm sorry, not presets, the different categories, and then go to the different sounds within those categories in the repository. So, I think what we should do is try to move back to the video and see if we can answer more questions here towards the end. And if not, yeah, maybe we'll go back live and wrap this up. Okay.
Sounds good.
My next guest is somebody who I've worked with for many years, a close friend of mine, Mr. Jesus Jesse Herrera. Some of you guys might know him as Chewy. I'm going to call him Jesse because that's what I call him. Jesse, thank you for joining me here today. I know that we've been trying to make our schedules line up, and we finally were able to make it happen.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
So those of you who might not know who Jesse is, do you want to tell people a little bit more about your background?
Originally, I'm from Lansing, Michigan. I live in Austin, Texas now. I've been here for about 12 years now. So I play bass. I did a few years, 8 years with. I played with Ruben Ramos and the Mexican Revolution, and now I've been. I think it's like 2 years. I've been with Ricardo Castillon and La Diferencia bass also. I have a background so let's see. I played keyboards for a while, so I kind of nerd out sometimes with keyboards, but bass is my main instrument.
So you and I, we've talked a lot about bass and bass tone. That's something that we've kind of nerded out about because you and I, we used to play in a band together way back when, right? Back in Lansing, Tejano Sound Band. And I was playing keys and you were playing bass, and that was one thing that we kind of nerded out about, were just sounds, like not just keyboard sounds but bass sounds, and about picking technique and all, the bass is one of those instruments that's like a wide palette where depending on who's using it, those colors can be used and blended in completely different ways. We've kind of through trial and error come up to some conclusions of what we like. Right. And I say I mean, I know that everybody has their own taste, but you and I have pretty similar taste when it comes to bass sound.
Yeah. So there is a method that we go by, and I guess it depends on the gig actually. So my perspective, or my view on things, is like the more modern tone for like today's Tejano music and a lot of modern music in general. I think the bridge pickup, it just cuts through so good. It just I use the bridge pickup a lot, and most of the time I cut out the other pickup, but it depends. And we did this before, and
we learned some stuff. Yeah,
we learned some stuff. We did learn some stuff. We learned, what it was our first time, just trying things, and things definitely got better. We'll say that. I really like the very first patch.
Oh, the EP, the studio EP.
Studio EP. Oh my god. Yeah, that just sounds.
Yeah, it has a very glassy top to it.
Oh god. So that's one of my favorite. That's
one of my favorite sounds. Here, I'm gonna go to the browser because I don't remember exactly where it's at. Rhythm section, number 88. The story behind this sound, it's got one of your basses, the bridge pickup that we like. And then in the top, we've got a single coil style guitar playing chords. So we can play 5, 1. And I can sync them. I can hit trigger start this first groove and be.
So there are a lot of beats in here, a lot of beats, drum loops, and wow, I'm looking at this list and I feel like you just keep updating it. Like,
Yeah, we have stuff
there's
for different flavors, whether you want to do ranchera, cumbia, guapango. I mean, it's all there.
different kinds of cumbias, different kinds of conjunto, boleros.
And the nice thing is that this time around, we're able to actually change the tempo of the loops. So the drums actually stay in the same pitch and you get to actually move the timing. So we're able to stretch the audio in such a way that, if you move it within 10 BPM in either direction, it should sound okay. Of course, the drums always load up in their native BPM, but it gives you the flexibility to create something that's at least within the wheelhouse of that beat.
So what I did yesterday, I had this sequence of a track that and I had done key bass on it, and what I did is I opened up the Tejano Keyboard studio.
Okay, everyone. So, sorry about the technical issues. What we're gonna end up doing is we're just gonna upload the launch video here after we're done, and that way everybody can watch it in its entirety. We tried to plan for as many technical things, but with it being live, you can never know what can come up. So I do appreciate everybody that has been sticking around with us. So let's go back and talk a little bit, Miguel. What was some of the things that you were talking about, like as far as like the older keyboards and the
Yeah,
sound?
so like I noticed when I got my Korg Nautilus, it's the first time I had it. Never had the chance to try it out before I bought it. I was, going through checking out some of the pianos and strings and stuff like that. But then I'm like looking through the synth part, like, man, I can't find any of the, sounds that you would typically hear in Tahani music. So I found myself having to recreate these sounds again, all over again. So where this app, you pretty much have other sounds that are pretty similar to it. So it's like, man, if I would have known you were going to do this, I wouldn't have had to go through all that work trying to recreate all these sounds. And you've got it right here where it's easy to dial
Yeah,
into.
and so that's the thing is that like we encourage people to just start there and to modify the sounds to play with things. You know what I mean? Like one thing that we did early on, like let me get this set up real quick so we can get some audio here. Let's see. Here we are. So, for example, this synth bells, it's got a long release. We can bring that and shorten it up, and now it's like a different. Now it's more like a brass than it is like a bell sound. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can modify all the sounds like this. You know what I mean? We can get like a brass sound and turn it into like strings. That's one thing that I did. Like maybe let's get like Laredo brass for example. If you want to make it shorter, you can make it punchy or make it into like a. Let's see. Let's bring that attack even slower. and that doesn't even sound like a brass pad anymore or a brass patch anymore, and so you can you can basically get any sound and manipulate it, make it your own style. You know what I mean? You can make it your own onda. And with Mojo, you can thicken the sound, you can thin it out a little bit if you're layering it with other things, so you can clear up some space in the mix. But essentially, the more to the right you go, the more modern it sounds, and more to the left you go, the more vintage it sounds. What is the red panic button tab for? Okay, so in case if you're playing and you happen to lose MIDI connection to the software, right? For example, if you hit a MIDI note on and for whatever reason you lose connection and you keep playing and it kicks back on, that note won't shut off. It'll just stay stuck on because it never got the message that you released off the note. That being said, if there's anything that ever happens where the notes just stay stuck, you can hit panic and it just resets everything. So that way, you can get back to a place where you can actually make some sounds. And Fabian's back.
I'm back, children.
Hey,
So,
so
Hello.
Rolando, I had a
yes.
question for you really quick. I saw one of your other videos where you have, what did you call it? DFW.
Yep. DFW.
There was something familiar about those sounds to me. Can you pull that patch up again?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me just do the old switcheroo here. Let me I'll shut off this one and we'll go over here and I'll hit share studio yo yo. There we are. Am I on studio again? So let's go to DFW. Okay, so uh,
Man, that sounds that sounds so good.
yeah, because we're able to saturate it differently. It just sounds like it's going through CD. You know what I mean? It's bit crushed because
Right.
everything is CD, or I mean, studio quality. That's what we're used to. We're used to hearing things a certain way, but in the '90s, things had a certain character. The '80s, they had a different character. The '70s, and so not that you're trying to go back to those sounds, but like if you listen to like Ella Langley, for example, choosing Texas sounds like an old school retro country tune. Like retro is in right now. But you can still make new sounds and still kind of get that vibe. Uh, so, anyways, going back to the DFW stacks, we have so some of these sounds have the modulation wheel where you can go up and it actually fades from one sound to the other.
Now, can you change those sounds? Like if you want to modulate into something else?
There is a way to do it. So in this case, the DFW stacks is already pre-programmed for those two sounds because that's kind of like the DFW sort of sound, like they used a lot of those sounds, right? But there is a way to do it where you would turn the modulation off, right? Say if I wanted to modulate between the strings and let's say that I want to get the strings and or I'll make it more drastic. We won't do strings. We'll pick something more obvious like brass, like let's pick Laredo brass and the FW stack. So you can hit learn MIDI, hit the modulation wheel. Here, let me do that again. Cancel. Let's forget MIDI. Let's learn again. There we go. Modulation, and then we can do the Laredo brass modulation. So now they're both going right. But what you can do
Okay.
is turn one of them is invert. So when you go up, now they fade from one to the other. So you can actually make your own blends by doing that.
Yeah, that's really cool, man.
These stacks are for TKS only. Well, no, not necessarily. So, for example, the DFW patch in TKS right now it has the DFW stacks. That DFW stacks on its own lives in TKP, so you still have that sound where you can blend between the harmonica and the synth, right? But you can't layer it with another sound because again, studio or a performer is meant to be lightweight, on the go, just quick. You know what I mean? Get one sound, go. Right? When you want to layer and program and do more, you need something more robust, and that's what studio's for. So yes, layering stuff and adding analog synth and drawbars and the drum machine and all that stuff is studio only, not performer. So hopefully that answered that question. Oh, you know what? Let me open this back up because I was kind of in my own world. Okay. Explain that this is. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the chat because I went in my own little world here. But yes. So yes, we talked about how it's different. So essentially, studio is for performers stacked on top of each other. So whatever sounds you're hearing in studio, you still have access to them in performer. You just have you know, one at a time instead of multiples. And let's see, talk about how you can either buy a perpetual license or subscribe. That's right. So for those of you who are wondering what the prices are on all of this are right now, the at the time of launch, Tejano Keyboard Live will come out in the months to come at $99. Perpetual, that means that you own it forever for $99. If you get Tejano Keyboard Studio, I'm sorry, Tejano Keyboard Performer, which is the middle tier. Tejano Keyboard Performer is $199, and that's kind of like the sidestep to our old product. So those of you who were on the old system get to move over for free, but it's not just a sidestep because, like I said, you get sabor, so you get all the accordion shuffles, you get all the bajo redobles, you get the mojo, so you get more of a vintage or modern vibe. You get the ADSR, you get that's NAS, of course. So there's a lot of feature upgrades that you get just by moving from the old software to TKP. And for those of you who are new customers, it'll be $199 because that was the price of our old software. Uh, Moving forward, Tejano Keyboard Studio is priced at $399, and there's I believe an hold on one second. Yes, there's a coupon code for legacy customers. Be sure to check out your email. So when you guys move for free to the TKP, you guys can just put in your coupon code. There's instructions on how to do that, so you pay nothing on the way out. Now, the only other thing that I was going to say was that I think we can. Oh yeah, there's coupon codes today. If you're watching right now, and for 24 hours, you get $50 off today if you purchase one of the perpetual licenses by typing in live stream. So live stream, you get $50 off of either TKP or TKS if you use that right now. Also, first month free for subscribers. If you use the word subscribe, you get not first month free. You get the first month for $1. I'm sorry. And we were gonna do it for free, but there was a technical issue on it. Yeah, long story short, we can't sell something for free that's on a subscription based on. Yeah, there's a whole technical side of things. We won't get into it, but yes. So we try to make it as affordable as possible, but also trying to say thank you for watching, thank you for supporting us. So in the next 24 hours, if you want to subscribe, uh, uh, the coupon for $1 off, or for a $1 the first. Sorry, I messed that all up. This is live, guys. It's been a long day. The first month for $1 is what you guys are paying for. So whether you guys subscribe monthly or annually, and so the month uh Okay, so live stream is all one word on both of those. So when you guys go out to purchase, you add to cart, and then right before you go to checkout, it'll say add coupon or apply coupon. Be sure to apply the coupons there. And yeah, I'm glad that you reminded me of that. I also want to send I want to send a shout out. I want to take a real quick pause, real quick, to thank a bunch of people. I want to first of all thank my wife and my son for putting up with me and all the tireless hours that I've put into this. I want to thank uh, people who were with me since the beginning. Jesse Herrera, you know what I mean. He, during COVID, he was, uh, a big part of, the first product. So I want to send a shout out to him. I also want to send a shout out going out to Sai, who's my director right now and partner in Tejano Keyboard. So thank you very much for making this all happen. I want to thank also the guys that were able to make the live the live roundtable. I know that we were having some technical issues and we're learning. We're going and you'll see more of the video because we want to talk about the accordions and stuff. We didn't even get a chance to talk about the accordions and how much we nerded out about the accordions because the accordions uh, I got my Roland accordion and I learned that the bellow is actually the same MIDI control number as the expression pedal. And so the expression pedal on the keyboard works the same as the accordion bellow. So if you want to pull more, the notes detune like they would on a real accordion. So that's why our accordion sounds are going to be more realistic than anything that there is out there in the market right now. And in the video, when we upload it, you'll be able to hear how we nerded out. And Fabian and I, we nerded out about horns. Jesse and I nerded out about bass and rhythm section stuff. So I encourage everybody to go back and watch that entire video when we post it. But uh, you know, I'm doing this because I feel like this is what our industry needs. I I feel like these days a lot of people are focusing on other uh, Mexican genres of music, which is fine. I feel like there's still a place for Chicano, Tejano, whatever you want to call it. I feel like there's still a space for it. The textures, are us. You know what I mean? The textures are unique. There was a time where people, really flocked to that sound, and I think that we need to inspire new young generations of musicians to use these sounds so we can intertwine our fabric into whatever music that comes out in the future. I don't know what else to say. I think that kind of sums everything up. uh if you guys have any questions, um be sure to let us know. Join our mailing list. Go to our website, tejanokeyboard.com. At the bottom, you can join our mailing list there. You can follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, and everything is /Tejano Keyboard. So, Facebook.com/Tejano Keyboard, YouTube.com/Tejano Keyboard. Um, I appreciate everybody who supported the first product. I appreciated everybody who listened to the demos that I did for this. People who took time out of their day. I don't want to name drop them, but I did show them to some industry insiders, and some people gave me some good feedback, and others, some feedback that I learned from. And so, I want to thank everybody who took time to look at this because this is something that I've been living and breathing for a very long time now. And I know I'm not from Texas. No soy tejano by soy tejano por herencia because my family, they're from Texas, but I was born in the Midwest, but I've always wanted to assimilate with the culture, you know what I mean? And so I think the best way to analyze it is from an outside perspective. And so I thank you guys for believing in what we're doing here. Can you import any sound from a Korg 01W? So we have been toying around with the idea of maybe allowing users in future iterations to allow them to sample their own sounds, but we are not sampling any hardware because we want to move away from that and move to something that is completely new, something that is fresh, right? No offense to Roland and Korg and Yamaha and all those other brands, and none of the brands that I'm mentioning am I trying to infringe on any trademarks or whatever, right? Like they do their thing, right? But we've always had to adapt to them. We've never had things for us. And so I feel like this is a good way for us to make our own sounds. To say this is what Tejano sounds like. Instead of saying, oh, Tejano sounds like this because we used to use that keyboard. You know what I mean? No, Tejano sounds like it sounds because of the musicians, because of the textures that they hear. And it's not just one keyboard or one sound or one whatever. It's a texture. It's, you know, it's it's a whole onda. So yes, I don't know right now. You can't import any sounds from anything. It's just the sounds that you have, but you can manipulate the sounds that are there. Uh, and Fabian, are there any shout outs or anybody that I? Oh yes, you were sending shout outs before we went
I
back
was
to the
gonna give
video.
I was gonna give shout outs, but then the screen went blank and you told me that you guys went to commercial, but no, so back in high school there was this girl, her name was Connie Groves. She was a flute player and went off to be a professional flute player, and she's watching right now and she's like, "Man, are the flutes good?" She wants to know, are the flutes good? So, um, just
Well,
wanted to.
I think the flutes are pretty good, um, but again, A- AI and we kind of created something. I mean, this isn't necessarily a flute library, but the flute sounds that we use for what we're trying to do uh, are are I think are acceptable. But again, I'm too close to the product, so I guess you guys would have to tell me. Hey, what's going on, Bradford? Going out to Matt Maya. Thank you for joining us here.
What's up, Matt? Uh,
Let's see. Demo. What was I just talking about? I got sidetracked. Remind me.
Acoustic
Flutes.
flutes.
Flutes. Yes.
we're talking about
So
flutes
demo
now.
flutes. Let's see. I will go since we're on studio and I don't want to be switching back and forth. We'll just go to one of these user presets and then just go to repository, woodwind, and we have flute right here.
There we
Let's
go.
let's see. So we can go to the edit and adjust the release because it sounded like. I think I'm having some computer issues because I'm streaming live. It's kind of I'm stuttering right now, but anyways, uh, the other flute one that I was gonna show is the one that is the let's see the doubler berry flute. Let's see if this one works a little bit better right now. Oh, you know what? I know what's happening. It's because I have both performer and studio open at the same time. Yeah, okay. And I'm running Zoom. That's a little better. So, where's the So there's some flute sounds there. Miguel, any shout outs that you want to send out or any last thoughts or anything that you're excited to
Yeah,
use? Anything
yeah,
that
just a quick little shout out to Nano. Nano, I see he's in there in the chat somewhere. Also
Oh
to my
yes.
brother. my brother Rick Torres. I'm not sure if he's listening in, but I spoke to him yesterday. I hadn't seen him in forever. Missed the guy. I seen he's lost a lot of weight, man. You guys need to feed him over there or something.
Well, on that note, I want to send a shout out. I don't know if they're watching, but I play in a band, and I want to send a shout out going out to all my dudes, going out to my band brothers, going out to Joey, Ruben, and Rick. Yep. So I want to send a shout out going out to the Motivo crew, going out to Motivo if they're watching. Thank you guys. Thank you for putting up with this. I know, and for those of you who, and I know that this isn't about Motivo, but those of you who have been wondering what's been going on with Motivo and why we've been kind of quiet, this is why. Because I've been kind of diving into this. And so for those of you who follow me for other reasons and are wondering what's next for Motivo, well now we're gonna get things done. So yeah. Um
Just want
but
to say one.
anyways,
I just want to say one quick thing. Ross Villalpando, keyboard player, La Diferencia, he's chiming in,
oh
and
yeah.
just want to send my brother some love. Um,
Yes.
that man
And
has
Ross is a
serious French.
TKMCL user, so he can move to
Yes,
TKP.
he has serious French fry game. That man.
Mm. So
Love
uh
you, brother. Love you, Ross.
so how long it took to develop the product? Well, here's the thing is that we were for years we've been wanting to upgrade from the original product, but we have not been able to until recently. You know, we've all have been using AI and stuff, and so we've been able to create this product engineered by Chicanos for Chicanos with the assistance of AI. And so we're building this for our community. You know what I mean? So it's taken us more than half a year. It's taken us tireless hours. It's taken us, I don't know. This was a big undertaking, and I just want to say how grateful I am to the community. You know, everybody who's has been supporting in the past, people who are going to support in the future. If you're watching this after it streams, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We're going to upload the quick launch guide, the quick setup guide, all that stuff, so you guys can have all of that stuff, so you guys can see. Oh, so speaking of AI, I know some of you guys are pro AI or anti AI. That's neither here nor there, but we're using it to our advantage. So what I wanted to let you all know is if you guys have any technical questions, yes, you can reach out to us, but we encourage everybody to use our AI chat bot on our website. It's the little chat thing in the corner. It is very smart. It knows all about all of the software. We uploaded all of the software up to its brain, so it knows everything about our software. So if it can't figure things out, it'll give you the link to get a hold of us or whatever. But yeah, if there even if you're looking for suggestions for sounds that might sound like an artist or something like that, it might know a little bit about that. Again, we're not trying to infringe on anybody like that, but the AI is so smart, and preliminary uses, we were asking about, hey, something that sounds like XYZ, and it would come up like, oh yeah, try to use this patch or this patch, and sure enough, those were the patches that sounded like what we needed. So uh, people are asking to share, yeah, ask people to share it with all your music. Yeah, so everybody, can you please share it with your musician friends, because this is not just for keyboard players. This is for anybody who uses anything MIDI, any producers who like program music, any people who anybody who like uses digital accordions or digital guitars, like people who use MIDI pickups for guitars or accordions, or even digital accordions like I know they're discontinued now, but like the Roland V accordion, you can use those sort of things to use this software. And man, the accordions are better than they were before. They sound better. The attack and the readiness of the touch of the accordions are a lot quicker. And we talk about that in depth in the launch video that will be uploaded again. But Yeah, maybe should I demo some accordion stuff, or I think are we good? Oh yeah, try it now just for $1 if you guys want to go and sign up for a month for $1. You guys can do that. Go ahead and subscribe. Oh, you know what? There's something that I did want to show. This one is called Full Box. Now, Full Box is found both in TKS and TKP, and as you can see in TKS, it's only one sound. So this is the exact same sound as you can find on TKP. So the first bottom buttons, as you can see on my screen, on a 61 key, are the different five switches on a five switch, like a Dino Buffetti or a Gabinelli or something like that. So let's see, that's the bassoon. And then when you go to the next one, and then let's see here, then this is the master. And then maybe also.
How are you doing that?
So
How are
I'm
you
just
doing
using the
that?
pitch bend. The pitch bend down will make it do the shuffle. And if I go up, it'll cycle through the notes. So if I do one note, it'll just do like a roll. And this is that Italian sort of sound for like David Lee stuff. So yeah, that's and we've got a vibrato too. Oh, we also have. Oh, I forgot one more sound. The violin. But anyways, so you've got all the different sounds there from that. So that particular sound has the first five buttons to switch the different sounds, the different reeds on your accordion. But we also have a full array of accordions. We have German accordions, Italian accordions, vallenato, piccolo, all sorts of different kinds of tunings. This new German wet this is new to both TKP and TKS. And you guys can hear it's pressure sensitive. As you smack the key harder, you can hear the clack of the tecla. Does the manual 90 or does the annual 99 include all three programs? Yes, it does. So all the subscriptions, let me clarify that the monthly and the annual will give you access to everything, and once the iPad comes out, you'll have access to that too for one monthly price or for one annual price. There's some people who prefer to get a discount for paying annually, and we want to help people with that. So yes, there's a little bit of an incentive to sign up annually if you guys want to do that, and you still get the first month for $1. So just make note of that. Anything else that I'm missing? We talked about the accordion. We talked about we'll have to we'll post the video and talk more about bass and stuff like that. Yes, use the coupon code subscribe if you're gonna subscribe, and you can get it for $1 for the first month. And then if you guys want to uh buy it outright and just own it forever, you guys can use live stream. That's one word, and it gives you $50 off of your purchase of the of whatever license you're going to buy. I believe that there is like a coupon code to go from Fabian, are you good there?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Uh, uh, I think there's a coupon code that goes from TKP to TKS. I could be wrong. Cindy might have to, or Cynthia might have to remind me of that if that's still a thing or not a thing. I forgot about that. But I did want to talk about that if that was a thing. Uh, anyway, okay. So, oh yes, yes. If you're already a TKP member or the old software and you move to TKP and you want to move up, you can move up from TKMCL to TK or TKS. That says TPS, but I meant TKS. Uh, yeah, so you have to use your email. Email us if you guys have any issues with that, but you'll have to use your email, and the server already knows who's already a legacy customer. So if you guys want to use the coupon code legacy, that gives you $200 off of TKS. So you can get TKS for 199 if you're already TKMCL or TKP and want to move to TKS. So be sure to use that coupon code legacy. Uh, oh yeah, yeah. I guess you could show the website. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe you should. That way, I can't see what you're showing, but or maybe we don't. Okay. So I'll try to see. I know that we're kind of like on a delay here, but can we use two promo codes as legacy owners? No, you cannot. You can either use one or the other. So, for example, uh, what would happen is that you would have to move over to the free one and do that first, and then move from TKP to TKS. So then it would be two different coupon codes. So yes, you can use both coupon codes. You just can't use them both in tandem, I don't think. So that's something that we might have to cross that bridge once we get there, if it allows you to do that, or however that works out. But I think you can either do one or the other because it kind of works out the same way. Like you're moving from TKMCL to TKP for $0, and then the upgrade would only be 199. So you would be buying it, but using the coupon code Legacy to take $200 off to get you to the 199. Okay, so I want to thank everybody again. Uh, yes, live stream, but one word. Everything is all one word. Live stream is one word. Legacy is one word, and what was the other one? Subscribe. Subscribe is all one. So live stream is one. Yes. So and the coupon and the legacy coupon will be good forever for those who are legacy customers. But those who are I'm sorry. I got sidetracked here. My bad. Uh, can somebody help me where I was at? What was I talking about? Nobody was listening to me. It's okay.
Okay. You want to give everybody a free version? No, I'm just kidding.
If I could, I would. But this took a lot of time, and in your support really does help me. Uh, a lot, y'all. It really does. Uh, okay. I see something on the website that needs to. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yes, thank you everyone for joining us. I think that pretty much wraps everything up. If you guys have any other questions, be sure to uh, email us, text us, or what? I mean, well, not text us. We don't have a number, but email us. You can email us at uh, Tejano Keyboard at gmail.com. Oh, there's the chat bot. Yeah, so be sure to check that out. But you can email us at Tejano Keyboard at gmail.com. You can also, oh, we want you to share. When you guys make music, we want you to share your music with us so we can feature it because we're going to start building a community and start doing more with this Tejano Keyboard thing. So it's not just software. Those of you who subscribe, we might be working on stuff where you guys might get some time with myself or something like that. We'll kind of work on that for the subscribers, so you guys have an incentive to continue to support Tejano Keyboard and all that we do. Uh, when would it be released for iPad store? That hopefully we hope in the next quarter or so, maybe the last quarter of the year. We just a couple more months. We just really wanted to get these out to market first and really see how much of a request we were going to get for iPad, and it seems like a lot of you guys are really interested in iPad, so we're going to try to get that going as soon as possible. Um, Anything else? Join the mailing list for the latest. Everybody, I want to thank everyone once again. I want to thank Cynthia for directing this whole thing. Thank you very much. And Fabian, thank you for staring at your phone. And Miguel, thank you for all the questions. Thank you for for truly being intrigued and wanting to know more about the product. And yeah, I want to thank everybody again. Who continue to support us. And we have other services too, so be sure to check out TejanoKeyboard.com for everything, not just for the software, but for other things. So, all right, fellas, thank you so much. Everyone who's watching, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys next time.